So first of all, guys, congratulations on the movie. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Patrick, my first question is for you. I'm a big fan of Creep and Creep 2. Those are great movies. Corporate Animals, and I wanted to know what it was like. Those movies are take place in such as like central location, smaller cast. What was it like to go from those movies to such like a larger playground, and a larger ensemble?
Yeah, no, it was very freeing and fun, and with all of my previous films, I think I was having to make creative decisions under the gun, and decisions that were coming out of either not having enough time or money to make the movie, and I think that can bear really wonderful fruit at times.
Sure.
But I think the actual experience of going through that is very stressful. I usually lose a lot of weight while I'm making my movies and then gain it back quickly in post.
Yeah.
But this movie, I think having the support system of, my producers, my writer with me, and obviously like a place like Netflix who is willing to support the movie to the ends of the earth, and support me in terms of like being able to make a movie as specific as I wanted to make it. And also like have the benefit of time to plan, like I worked with, James Wan's storyboard artist, this guy, John Fox, who's just a genius. And I was able to basically craft these sequences a month or two before we were making the movie. And so when it came to the actual production of the movie, I was the least stressed out I've ever been making a movie, because a lot of those decisions were ones that we had, made and set in place, whether it was in storyboarding or in casting or in conversations that we were having going back and forth about the script. So, it was just a matter of capturing it at that point. And that was just endlessly fun for me, because I'd never had that experience of being able to do it at this level.
Did you lose weight?
Did I lose or gain weight? I did both.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine it's a very stressful experience either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
So my next question was going to be for you, Henry. In adapting this novel, I feel like, people say we're in the midst of like a horror renaissance. I feel like they've been saying that for like 10 years, but not like that, like elevated horror genre.
Sure.
But teen slashers have been like weirdly missing from it, even though like arguably they reached their pinnacle in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, why do you think that is? And then what did you bring to, or what did you want to bring to There's Someone Inside Your House to like sort of, be like teen slashers can be back?
Well, I mean, I think having watched 152 slashers and rewatched them before I started the script, I think, and I don't know, that the 90s cycle ran out of ideas. I mean, they basically had Scream, and then they were like, let's just do kind of Scream. And then, they had like Cherry Falls and Valentine, and then all the wheels came off and it all kind of fell apart and no one wanted to see them. And some of those movies had great moments, but none of them had like the clarity of Scream or that series, And so for me, at least, when I read the book and started to think about how I could adapt it, the idea that the set pieces could be emotional for the victim, not just visceral fear, that like there's a stakes if they die, this thing about them comes out and everyone in the world finds out. So it's now a layered scene. So they're like fighting for their life and fighting for the fact that they don't want anyone to know this about their life.
Yeah.
That, and then the mask, where the killer is wearing a mask of their face, making them face themselves. That felt new to me, and that felt exciting. And so that's what I thought this movie could bring on top of the characters and stuff that we love. But that was the first thing.
Yeah. That the concept of seeing yourself while you're dying, I mean, chilling. But yeah, so I guess my next question would be like, do either of you have like a particularly favorite kill? Like, Patrick, what was your favorite shoot to shoot? Henry, what was your favorite kill to write?
I mean,
you go first.
When I was first sent the script, I was just immediately taken with it from that opening sequence, from the cold open of the movie. And I thought it was such a arresting sequence that, you know, I was hooked as a reader, you know, in terms of like I wanted to read the rest of the script to find out what the fuck was going on in this movie after reading that. And that was something that I never really seen before, and was sort of surprised that I'd never seen it before, because it felt like I don't want to say simple, but it felt clear in terms of all the elements that were being used in it, you know? And so for me as a filmmaker, it was exciting to be able to like, oh, I can look at this, like this is one character, I mean, two characters really, but one character in a house. How can I craft this and lay these breadcrumbs out to make this feel as like chilling and visceral as possible, you know? And so, you know, for me, it really was that opening sequence, and then shooting that opening sequence. I was just, I had my hands over my head, you know, like cheering the whole time, because, you know, we found this actor who was just, you know, no one, Markian, who's just like fantastic. He's a relative unknown, you know, but he's fantastic and conveyed this archetype of this guy so well and so quickly. And you know, and then obviously, like once I saw those images while we were shooting, like those were the images that I saw in my head when I was storyboarding the movie a month ago. And then also when I first read the script, like that overhead shot where the knife comes out is what I saw in my head when I first read it. So like the excitement of seeing that materialize is the thing that's still, like, to this day, still it's the juice that keeps me flowing as a filmmaker, you know? And so like being able to like, you know, follow that journey to the point where people are then watching it is obviously so exciting.
Yeah. I mean, that first scene to write was me trying to figure it out, because I had not written a slasher movie before. And so I honestly, this makes me, no one will want to hire me after I say this, but I probably spent a good 3 to 4 weeks working on that scene and doing 40 versions until I figured out how to make that work. And it was a great sort of proving ground. And I love that scene. The most fun though, and thrilling, because it got to go somewhere nuts, was the second kill. Like the fact that I got to like go to that place was like, can I do this?
Yeah.
Can I actually do this? And then I did it, and then it was like, great.
Well, and the fact that like that I got that script and I read of that second kill and was like, oh, Netflix is okay with us doing this? Okay. I'm in, you know.
Let's just go for it.
Yeah.